woke up the next morning and Chelsea was gone. I think what hurt the most was she came back to get a few things, and before she left, I remember she gave me a hug and she said, "I don't want to do this, but I have no other choice." And then she was gone. The walls don't talk. The dogs don't talk. I needed help. And so we had decided after the 4 days that we were going to go do marriage counseling. And how it works is I went first. She was supposed to go second. I go first. I spill my story to this lady. An hour. I unpack everything. And at the very end, she looks at me and she goes, "I can't help you." And that crushed me because I realized I needed her to help me because this is marriage counseling and I need my marriage back. I need my wife back. I need my kids back. And she said, "I can't help you. You need to go to an addiction counselor." So again, for an hour, I sit down with this guy and I look at him and I say, "Listen, am I the worst person you've ever talked to?" And he literally laughed at me. And he said, "No, you're gonna be just fine." Chelsea was the first person to show me the love of Jesus. Jeff, the guy I sat down with, I would say he showed me the hope because I'm sitting there and I feel like I'm this big when I'm done talking to him, and I walk out of the room and I'm like, okay. I had severe depression and I had the high mania, so manic depressive bipolar disorder. I went and got medicated and I quit drinking, and that was huge for me. So when I was going through, I guess, the darkest times and the struggle, I wanted to be alone. I would go and sit in a room by myself and just listen to music, and I didn't care what anybody else was doing. Kids were in there playing with Chelsea and doing all their thing. I wasn't involved. I wasn't present. Mentally, I wasn't present. Physically, I wasn't present. Now that I've taken these steps, and I say we, because Chelsea's been my backbone through the whole thing, I guess just being present now, I'm involved. That hurts a little bit when I think about it because I don't remember much of Colton growing up. I feel like from 4 to 8, so from when he was from 4 to 8, those important years, like, I don't remember a lot of those. And I have 3 beautiful children, Colton, Kobe, Kinsley, and I know now I'm going to be present. I'll never have to miss those things. 2021 rolls around, new campus here opens up. I've played music my whole life. I'm in a better place now, and I hadn't really played out. I used to use my music to play at bars and drink for free, but I wanted to use it for good. So one Sunday, it might have been the first Sunday after we opened here at Coshocton, I reached out to Sam. He invited me to come. I think it was April of 21 was when I first started. I ended up getting baptized in the river. It was awesome. And I shared my story about the dark path I was going down, and I didn't know where my dad was with his faith. And when I started playing music in the band, because when I played out, Dad was always there. When I started playing in the band, Dad started showing up. Dad started coming to church. I get baptized in July, and Chad said, "Somebody here's getting their heartstrings pulled on. If that's you, come forward and we'll baptize you right now." And my dad took his wallet out of his pocket. I got to baptize my dad in the river on the same day I got baptized. And that was so cool. For me, worship, to some people, they're just words. But now there's a story behind those words. I feel like I'm closer to God, and then through me, hopefully it's pulling people, especially the ones that know the story. Now everybody's gonna know the story. I went from playing music in a bar to playing on Sundays. The very first song I sang here was Battle Belongs. And that was the day I got baptized. I sang Battle Belongs, and we had a meeting afterwards, and we just talked about the warfare around us, and just not scare anybody, but obviously, there is a battle, and we've read the book, we know who wins. But I had these made say battle ready, so I always keep it on. But I feel like that's what we're doing out there when we go to worship, is we're going to battle, not just for us, but for those around us.
When all I see is the battle, you see my victory. When all I see is the mountain, you see a mountain. And as I walk through the shadow, you're
felt at that time. There was a Sunday where he came up after church. He wanted to help me carry my stuff to the car. He grabs my stuff, and I'm watching him lug my guitar down the ramp out to my car. I just remember thinking, this is it, this is life. I don't know how he looked at me before, but I know how he's gonna look at me now and going forward. You know, early on, I felt like I was so far gone that I couldn't be saved. I think so often we forget there's a story in the Bible about the thief on the cross who lived his entire life and with his dying breath gave his life to Jesus. So you're never too far gone. Who you were, who you've been, it doesn't define you.